Welcome to Revelation Unraveled. I'm your host, William Tapley, also known as the third eagle of the apocalypse and the co-prophet of these end times. Yesterday, the FBI made headlines when they sent a SWAT team to arrest Roger Stone. He was a former confidant of President Donald Trump. And of course, this is an effort by Roger Mueller and Nancy Pelosi and the rest of the deep state to destroy our elected president, because he is going to destroy the deep state. But right now, the deep state has asserted itself this past week very noticeably. And don't think that this SWAT team arrest of Roger Stone is going to be a one-time only event. I mean, anytime you send 29 squad cars and 3 jet planes and 2 tanks to arrest a citizen, well, maybe not the jet planes or the tanks, but they did send 29 squad cars. That tells you that they mean business. And don't be surprised if in the weeks and months ahead, maybe you'll see a SWAT team arrive at your neighbor's house with their lights all flashing in the middle of the night or 6 o'clock in the morning, whenever it is dark, just like the Gestapo did. Just like Stalin did. No different. And that's because socialism is a tyranny. And that's what they want to bring into the United States. Now, I am doing this program to show you where this is in Bible prophecy. And do we have any hope of stopping it? Because Donald Trump is also found in Bible prophecy. But Micah says that he is not going to be able to stop the deep state until he converts and becomes a Catholic, according to Micah chapter number 5. So I want to read the first 3 pertinent verses in Micah 5, and I want to read them in rosary order. In other words, first the verse number 1, then verse number 5, and then verse number 3. And I will explain them to you, and I will show you how they are explaining exactly what happened last night, or yesterday morning, when they arrested Roger Stone. And as I say, the deep state will be coming for you and me as soon as we stand up and join the fight. And hopefully we all will do that. And we have 2 options, either be arrested or flee. And Jesus in the Olivet Discourse said we should flee. But you have to know when. And I will tell you later when we should do. So let's take a look first at Micah chapter 5, verse number 1, and Micah says, "Now shall you be laid waste, O daughter of the robber." Now, the daughter of the robber is an interesting phrase. The daughter refers to those of us in the remnant Catholic Church. And not just Catholics, by the way. You Protestants will have to convert also if you understand the prophecies of Kim Clement. He received a very important message on the Feast of the Annunciation, March 25th, 2011. And he said, a beautiful woman, that can only be Mary, although he called her Esther, will convert the Protestants. And they will say, before we hated her, but now we love her. Getting back to Micah, verse number 1. The robber, of whom we are the daughter of, is the Roman Catholic Church. The Roman Catholic Church is being trodden under by the Gentiles, which is pretty obvious if you read the headlines. And that is prophesied in Revelation chapter 11, verse number 2. And the angel tells John to only measure those who worship at the altar. That's, again, the remnant Catholic Church. The rest of verse number 1. They have laid siege against us. Now, who is they? That's the deep state. Those are the enemies. Those are the socialists. They are the army of the Antichrist. And they attacked Roger Stone with 25 squad cars. They won't send that many against us, but you can be sure we are in their sights. With a rod shall they strike the cheek of the judge of Israel. Israel is a code word in both Micah and Isaiah for our remnant Catholic Church. And when they strike the cheek of the judge of Israel, that refers to the Pope, not Pope Francis. Pope Francis works for the deep state. Pope Benedict. I believe very soon we will see that Pope Benedict will be martyred I am predicting in the Middle East, as I've been saying all along, I think war is about to break out there. That's what the Jewish teenager Natan said, although we have been given an extension of time. This raid on Roger Stone's house tells us that the Antichrist can't wait any longer. He is starting his move. That was the first attack against citizens in this country and around the world. Now let's read next verse number 5 of Micah, because this is very impertinent, and this describes this attack that we saw against Roger Stone's house. And this man, that's Donald Trump, that's who Micah is prophesying about here, just as Isaiah prophesied about him in his chapter number 45, shall be our peace when the Assyrian shall come into our land. That is what happened. This Assyrian has come into our land. The Assyrian is Micah's code word for the Antichrist. And our land, that's our land, the United States of America. This prophecy is specifically for us. And the next part happened yesterday morning. And when he shall set his foot in our houses. Now, some Bibles translate that a little differently. They say when he shall set his foot in our palaces. I think it means both. And certainly in this case, they set their foot in Roger Stone's house. And this was outrageous. This is, as I say, it's out of the Nazi playbook. And don't think that we are exempt. The deep state, they know who their enemies are. The socialism has come into our country. As Mary prophesied of Fatima, she said, Russia will, let me get this right, Russia will spread her errors throughout the world. And Russia is recovering from socialism. I read the other day that they are building 3 new churches every day in Russia. That's not happening in this country. In this country, we are closing churches. And that means that the Antichrist is in ascendancy. And not only the raid against Roger Stone's home, but the defeat of Donald Trump on the wall, and the vilification of Catholics, which we saw with those Covington students who were maligned in the news media. That attack against the Catholic Church is specifically because Donald Trump may very well nominate a Catholic to the Supreme Court, and that would be anathema to the Antichrist. A practicing Catholic, not a Catholic from Pope Francis' denomination, which will be the one world government. And the rest of this verse, and we're still talking about the remnant Catholic Church, shall raise against him, against the Antichrist or the Assyrian, 7 shepherds and 8 princes. Now this is all symbolic. There are 15 people altogether, and that symbolizes Mary's rosary, because there are 15 decades in a complete 3 mystery rosary. The shepherds would be religious leaders, the princes would be secular leaders. And we have to have them because Donald Trump, as we can see, is not able to carry out his agenda. We are the ones who are going to have to fight the deep state. And now, after the verses, verse 1 and verse 5, comes verse number 3. As I say, you have to read these as a rosary number in that sequence. Verse number 3. Therefore will he, this is Donald Trump, give them up. He's going to give us up. He cannot help us. Not until, as we will see, until the time wherein she, that's Mary, the Blessed Virgin Mary, she defeats Satan in these end times, that travails shall bring forth. Mary is going to bring forth the Protestants. That means she is going to convert them. And the remnant of his brethren, that's Trump's brother, his Protestant brethren, shall be converted to the children of Israel. Israel, as I said, is a code word for the remnant Catholic Church, not the Roman Catholic Church. So the scenario is that Donald Trump has abandoned us. He must abandon us. He cannot build that wall until he converts and becomes a Catholic, and his Protestant brethren become Catholic. Until that happens, there are 15 people, leaders in both religion and in society, that are going to stand in the gap. And we are the ones who are going to have to defend Roger Stone and all others who are targeted by the deep state and all the SWAT teams they send out to get us. We've got to oppose that. And if we don't, what will happen in this country will happen as happened in Nazi Germany and as happened in Soviet Russia. Now, Kim Clement, let me get that quotation. I don't know if I have it here or not. Kim Clement said, and I don't have it, but he prophesied as part of that prophecy on March 25th, the Feast of the Annunciation, that before the Protestants are converted, there will be pain and mourning. Mourning implies bloodshed. And then she will spread the oil of gladness over us. This is Mary. And after she converts Donald Trump's Protestant brethren, they will say, before we hated her, but now we love her. So Bible prophecy and Kim Clement's prophecy, they are dovetailing right now in this country. We are seeing Bible prophecy being fulfilled, and don't think this attack against Roger Stone's house is a one-time affair. This is just to set us up, to get us used to the idea of being our homes being invaded by the Assyrian, that is the Antichrist, in the middle of the night. And now, since my last program, I want to thank some people who helped me. Thomas, Joseph, Paul, Victor, Paul again, Edmund, Mark, Young Q, and 15 others who donated because they ordered rosaries. And in fact, I'm offering a rosary deal on my channel. When I pray the rosary, you should check that out. Now, tonight at 10 p.m., I am going to pray a special exorcism prayer. It takes about 3/4 of an hour, 10 p.m. on my channel. I'm going to pray specifically for the exorcism of socialism from this country. This comes from the Antichrist, make no mistake. And it is demonic. And they are going to attack especially Catholics and other Christians. And all of us are going to have to take a stand. We can't be like Cardinal Dolan and be wishy-washy. Jesus said he would spit out the lukewarm. He dislikes them more than he does his enemies. The lukewarm, like Cardinal Dolan, who refused to excommunicate Andrew Cuomo. And by the way, that's where these people are getting their power from. Notice that all these things occurred after Andrew Cuomo and his demonic Democrats in New York State expanded abortion so that it is legal to kill babies right up until the moment of childbirth. That gave the demons so much power that they were able to attack those Catholic students at the March for Life. They were able to stop Donald Trump from building the wall, and they were able to begin their pogrom against Christians and people who oppose the deep state, which we saw in Roger Stone's house being attacked. So that's my message for today. I advise you to read the rest of Micah chapter 5 and Isaiah 45. Those prophecies are about the United States of America. They are about the attacks against us by the Antichrist, and they also tell us how to defeat the Antichrist, and that's through, as I tell all my people, that's through Mary's rosary. Just as David chose 5 smooth pebbles against Goliath, but he only needed 1 pebble. Very important for us to know how to defeat the Antichrist and his minions in the deep state.